Hey, how's it going out there, guys? Welcome to the show. 50th episode, the 50th anniversary. Got a great one for you lined up tonight. If you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. And we have some Ballbusters out there, man. I ain't kidding you. Ballbusters, sound off, man.
Hey, 50th episode.
Yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on out there?
that sounded manufactured, man.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
What's
Good
up?
to be here.
50 is golden.
What's good, people? What's peeping, dog?
I was just watching that intro and just realized that's the best intro I've ever seen in human history.
It really is,
And
though.
that Globe Crush, just knowing the history behind it, it's just so awesome, so gratifying every time.
And it's so short.
Too short, I think. Maybe we should make it longer.
Two weeks from now, we're all going to be privileged to witness the 20-minute extended version of that intro. Can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah,
Adam!
too funny, man. Adam said he was going to be a little bit late, but he'll try to catch up. So what's going on out there, people? We still got Baltards hanging around. Yeah, let me check. Wiki is active, so yes, we still have Baltards out there and atheists. So yeah, unfortunately.
Well,
Oh.
let me report. The fleet is out there. We are sailing the seas. We are gathering forces. We are growing experiences. Every single captain is making their own mistakes and learning from them. And we're all learning about one another, trusting on one another, even on a distance. And our forces gather while at the same time the landlubbers, the ball lubbers, they are panicking. And it's getting worse, and they are literally specializing in escapism delusion just to get by. And it's very telling. This cannot last forever.
That's very good. That was a very good summary, Arwen. You're on top of your game tonight, man.
Just me, or
Yeah,
we
that was good.
completely forgetting the fact that we're in the horrible situation where we're all under a pandemic. There's nobody going to mention that?
Yeah,
The
land-based pandemic. Yes.
Right. So, those of you who might be watching this on a re-up, this is 2020, and in case you aren't already aware, it's been an absolutely devastating outbreak of the Coriolis virus.
Ooh. What are the precautions?
Cautions?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't take any precautions against it. It's only affecting a certain subset of the Western world, which is the globe-believing part of it. They're the only people affected. The only cure is realizing the obvious and observable flat and stationary nature of our Earth.
Right. To elaborate on that, you need, in order to avoid it, you need to recognize the symptoms first. And then when you do, and you have to learn these symptoms, when you do, then you can apply intellectual distancing to avoid getting infected yourself.
Intellectual distancing. That is priceless, man. Who came up with that?
I did.
Was it Arwen? Intellectual distancing? See, you're on top
Yep.
of your game. You're getting sharp, man. I've been noticing.
I'm doing my best. I feel the flame heating up. And yeah, looking
Yeah,
forward to the time coming.
Your power level is increasing, huh?
It's over 9,000!
Thank you.
I've been saying it for years. Arwen is ace.
Yep. There's definitely a breakout going on out there. And it's terrible. And these symptoms, I mean, a lot of these globetrotters are showing these symptoms, and it's terrible. What are we gonna do about this, man?
Turn you up.
Oh, we could do that, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. You're coming a little, just a little bit low. Is things low in Georgia?
No, things are pretty hot as usual. So hot, but it's nice out here, though.
Okay, is
I've
that it?
obviously side- I was going to say,
Yeah,
I've
pretty
side
much.
conversation onto Coriolis virus pandemic rather than creator versus atheism, which is what this 50th anniversary show is about.
Yeah, I thought I'd dedicate this one to the Lord. I didn't think we'd make it this far. We started off under how would you like to say, challenging circumstances, but we made it this far. I think we're going to keep on rolling, man. One of my favorite subjects. I think it's quite telling that I in 2020 would have to even present on this subject, but it seems that I still do, because I'm hearing a lot of jabber out there, and it hasn't changed. In fact, I think it's gotten stronger over the past, I would say, 2 or 3 years. It's looking like they're like the ballers. I kind of put them all in the same category anyway, especially the ones that are on the circuit, that they're really sticking to this. How would you say, atheism? Of course, a lot of them talk about that they're agnostic. They don't even know what the term means, but they're still agnostic, and it's really untenable. For about the past 250 years, agnosticism is untenable at best, and for the past 20 years, it's just snuffed out completely. I've been asking, because a lot of people say, yeah, I'm agnostic. I say, well, what does that mean? And they don't even know. So I don't know. They're taking their labels, I guess, from the secular community. They're mindlessly parroting, especially the negative connotation with the word creation, or you're a creationist. So are you, but you're too stupid to realize it. Because everyone's a creationist. I'm going to show you that today. So I don't know. They're not even parroting. We got the same symptoms and effects that we have on the Baltard side. They're just parroting. Atheists are parroting this, like I said, that's negative or derogatory creationism. And they're taking up science, as their mandate to make these statements. And the actual pseudosciences and the pseudoscientists, the big guys, are parroting the exact opposite. So I don't know whether they're just making it up, or they've heard some people say, oh, those darn creationists and creationism and, scientists and science that. Well, you're not parroting the right pseudoscience, because even your premier pseudoscientists say there was a beginning. There is no question here. I don't even have to get into quantum mechanics. I can just drop anchor with the laws of thermodynamics and just sit there and put my feet up with the stogie. I mean, people, get off a wiki. I can't explain it. I wish somebody could explain it to me. After we're done here, you're going to say, oh my God, right? So I don't know. Maybe you guys got an answer?
Well, you undoubtedly have this quote in there, but I'll paraphrase the quote slightly, and you can tell me you said it. The first sip of the cup of science will make you an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you.
Yeah, that's really close. That was
I
from
love that
Werner
one.
Heisenberg. Yeah, something to that effect. The first sip from the glass of natural science will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. He knew that. They all knew that back in the day. Just think if he said that, because he's a Nobel Prize winner, right? Just think if he was on he was giving his Nobel Prize speech and he said that, he'd be tar and feathered, wouldn't he? I'm thinking.
Maybe it would go over everybody's head and they would leave it just as is, as a philosophical statement. But it's a sign of enlightenment. He did get it. Absolutely.
Hey, shout out to Glowbusters Bob for the super chat. Thanks, Bob. He said the existence of a creator is patently obvious. Yes, couldn't agree more. We're going to get into some details surrounding that. I'm going to provide the background information for that today. We're not going to get into the scientific evidences. The presentation is kind of long. I didn't want to take it out that long, so we'll make it in 2 parts or 3 parts. I'll just go on feel. But we're going to definitely establish the foundation and the pillars today.
Before you start, can I be a little pedantic?
Yeah.
And say that technically an atheist is not like, yeah, they are created, but an atheist, specifically the word itself, points at the thought, right? So you can't really say they are creationists because it's a different mindset. So it would be technically slightly wrong, but I think
What?
you meant they are, of course, created because that's absolutely inevitable.
No, they're creationists. They just don't know it.
How do you mean?
I'm going to show you here in the presentation. I'll point it out when we get there.
Where do their thoughts come from?
Right.
You want to have fun? Get a whole group of them together and have them define the term. I watched.
Just do.
Go ahead.
You do. I want to do an extra shout out to Bob Nodell of Globebusters, not because of the context of his super chat, which is true, but because of what super chat itself represents. Now, any long-term watcher of Ballbusters will recognize the significance of that super chat. Thank you very much, Bob Nodell.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shout out to Bob.
So, like I said, back to the topic, 3.5 years ago, somewhere around there, 3-4 years ago, I can't exactly. I was watching Hangout, and it was a bunch of atheists, and the topic was, what is atheist mean? Or what does atheist mean? This went on, I am not kidding you, for 2 shows, better than 9 hours, where they never came to the conclusion and they all fell out with each other. I am not lying to you. They were holding late night candlelight vigils, right? And they can't define the term. I'm going to define it for you in here in a few minutes. But I find it pretty hilarious. Any comment? Anyone know what it is? Want to take a shot at her?
I was going to ask, but I didn't think it was an appropriate time to just flat out ask. No, I don't know who you're talking about. Who is this exactly?
Oh, what show was it?
Well, who are all the individuals you're referring to?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember them all. There were so many. It was on the Steve McClown of the Clan McClown's Non Sequitur show back in the day.
Okay, I can imagine.
Yes. I can't recall.
A bunch of trash.
There was a lot of people on there. I can't recall all their names. But you know, the usual suspects. So no one's going to take a shot at her then. All right. Fair enough.
Well, I was just going to say, by the end of it, I was just going to reiterate what you were saying to lead you into a bit of a deeper explanation, but by the sounds of things, that's not needed.
No, it's not. Usually, you'll get the usual definition. That atheist is the lack of belief in a creator or a God, right? Well, you see, the problem with that is you never define something as to what it's not. Like, if I was trying to define a banana and I said, well, it's a lack of axle grease, you'd look at me like I had 25 heads, and rightfully so, right? Because that's not defining the thing. Everyone follow that?
Common sense. Or it should be anyway.
Hey, thanks for the token chat show up. Appreciate it. Too funny. All right, you
I
guys
just want
seem...
to thank you for not keeping me on mute.
Yeah.
90
Oh, that's
watching.
right. I forgot, Rob. Yeah, I caught your message, Rob, and I left it. I got you, man. I took him off mute, so I'm golden for today, right? Yes.
Well, we got 90 watching currently,
Yeah,
so
we did.
Yeah. I caught up with Rob Keane, right? It took me 25 shows, but I got you, Rob. You buddy. All right, let's rock and roll, man. Since you guys are all motivated. Anything else?
Let's go.
yeah, we got a big crowd. Just saying, 90 watching. So,
How many atheists? Count them
well,
up.
according to you, 0. They just don't know it yet.
According to me, 0. That's the correct answer. They just don't know it. So, like I was saying before, you hear all this if you're out, not only in the genre we speak about, but if you're out there in secular society, if you're looking at Facebook, all the social medias, it doesn't take much. You'll hear somebody talking about creation, either derogatory or a negative connotation, like, oh, creationist or creationism. That he's a creationist. Yeah? Right? Yes, so are you. You're just too stupid to realize it. Right? And then like I said, your mandate, the foundation that you're saying these things are because you're on the side of science. Right? Wow. Even your pseudoscience priests know for absolute fact that there was a beginning. Creation, making them creationist also. So let's take a look, see? Creation. We got some heavyweights here. I got Alexander Vilenkin, Professor Paul Davies, and the late Stephen Hawking. Let's see what they have to say about this issue. From Many Worlds in One, Alexander Vilenkin. It is said that an argument is what convinces reasonable men, and a proof is what it takes to convince even an unreasonable man. With the proof now in place, cosmologists can no longer hide behind the possibility of a past eternal universe. There is no escape. They have to face the problem of a cosmic beginning. Right? Wow. He's pretty stern about this. Most of the times, these pseudoscientists, they'll kind of waffle on certain topics. He's not waffling here. He's coming out, he's saying this with some authority. Now, he doesn't say why here, but it seems that he knows something. I wonder what he knows. Take a look at Paul Davies, Professor Type 1 each. Again, the universe can't have existed forever. We know there must have been an absolute beginning a finite time ago. Again, we're in the same situation here. He's saying it with authority, with certitude, right? He doesn't give the reason why, though. That's troubling, right? Especially if you're mechanistic thinking in that vein. But that's all right. We got the late Stephen Hawking to come and explain why. So, Stephen Hawking, the beginning of time. This argument about whether or not the universe had a beginning persisted into the 19th and 20th centuries. It was conducted mainly on the basis of theology and philosophy, with little consideration of observational evidence. This may have been reasonable given the notoriously unreliable character of cosmological observations until fairly recently. The cosmologist Sir Arthur Eddington once said, "Don't worry if your theory doesn't agree with observations, because they're probably wrong. But if your theory disagrees with the second law of thermodynamics, it is bad trouble. In fact, The theory that the universe has existed forever is in serious difficulty with the second law of thermodynamics. The second law states that disorder always increases with time. Like the argument about human progress, it indicates that there must have been a beginning. See, it's kind of over for you guys, you pseudoscience. Yeah, I mean, you're not even parroting the right pseudoscience, right? You got big problems with these three. Why aren't you parroting this mindlessly, right? You know better. You know why. And by the way, Sir Arthur Eddington, he sort of paraphrased Sir Arthur Eddington. Let's see what he had to say exactly. So, from the nature of the physical world, 1930, if your theory is found to be against the second law of thermodynamics, I can give you no hope. There is nothing for your theory but to collapse in the deepest humiliation. That's all there is, folks. So like I said, so everyone must be a creationist. I'm sticking here. Everyone is a creationist, whether they know it or not. If they parrot the correct pseudoscientists, they're creationist also. The only question is who or what caused it. That's the rub. So let's make no mistake, folks. Atheists, if you're listening out there, you are a creationist. If I catch you saying creation or creationism and you're saying it with negative connotation or derogatory, you're going to get called out. It's going to be embarrassing every second after that call out. I promise you. Let's stop right there because I think that's pretty important. Any comments or questions on that?
I just want to check with the audience and see if they're all acutely aware now it's been broken down for them that there is a creation at the beginning of both stories. Obviously, the next thing we're going to move on to is the ontological primitives. But from here, is everyone in the chat acutely aware that you all have a creation at the beginning of your backstory, regardless of who you are?
We got 101 people watching, so
101 creation. What would you call them? Creationists?
They are creationists.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You just want to stop it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say you want to stop it coming through as like some negative slur against you as a Christian or anybody else in that matter when it's said in that derogatory tone. When I hear you describing it, what I picture is the contrast when Matt Powland said the words flat earth on a video. It's just the stark contrast between him saying it in a context that's non-derogatory versus them saying creationist fundy. I was going to interrupt during your presentation. I can't remember who it was. You know, it's like he's a Nobel Prize winner. Imagine if he said that during the acceptance speech. And I was going to interrupt and say, yeah, you can hear him all tutting going, bloody fundy.
Warner Heisenberg. Yeah, fundy.
Werner Heisenberg, right, Mike. The quote I came out with, right, or paraphrased. Exactly. Yeah, they're all tutting and going, bloody fundy. Bloody religious bad.
Yeah. Too funny. I can essentially stop right here. I really could. There's a lot of sections in here I can stop and just drop anchor and then forget about even talking about anything else because it's all over right here. All right? But we need some more background to see exactly where we're at.
Before you jog on then, John, could I say good evening and apologies? Tea was running late, mate, so sorry.
That's fine.
Hey, Adam.
How we doing, guys?
I thought it was an avatar issue.
Yeah, we got an order for a 30-minute intro, apparently.
Whoa. Could stretch it out. There might have to be more elven magic in the forest to get it that long, but
I'll do my best.
You didn't miss much, Adam. We just established that there must have been a beginning to the universe, us and the universe. So that's all we established up until this point. And we discussed that atheists really don't know what the term means. But we're going to get to it here in a couple seconds. And let's see if anyone can define it after I get through with this section.
Cool. Settle in.
QE, can I say something real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
One of the things I've been arguing with the atheists on here on Discord, they're actually getting away from the idea of trying to get away. They're saying beginning of time, beginning is incoherent. That's what they're kind of saying now. When I've gotten into arguments with them, so I'm glad you're going to try to address it.
I thought I already did address it.
Oh, I know, but see that even if you quote them, they
But
won't.
doesn't their
They don't acknowledge that.
doesn't their story have a beginning of time? Like, it makes no sense. So
Well, the
just
ones on
again,
here,
oh, the ones on
here,
here.
yeah, they
Oh,
don't agree with
symptoms
their
of
own
the
priests.
virus.
Exactly.
It's
They don't agree
spreading.
with their own priests. They don't agree with
Yep.
their own priests.
That's a symptom.
All right, we ready to roll?
Go for it.
Maybe it needs a bit more of a drum roll. So I'm anticipating what the next section is because I've heard this presentation. So if you don't think there's a God, you're about to find out there is.
Yeah, there is. Thanks for the drum roll, man. I'm
Better
already up,
deal
man.
with it.
Say again?
I just said, better deal with it.
You better deal with it. Yes, we all have to deal with it. Personally. So like I said, I want to lead off again. Everyone must be a creationist. Like I said, the only question is who or what caused it. Because the beginning's already established. With the first and second laws of thermodynamics, there's no way out. Without even bringing up quantum mechanics. And that's a crusher. But I'll hold that one back for special occasions. So, there are only two possible answers. That is, ontological primitives to that question. Only two worldviews that can be held to account for how we, the universe, and us are here. It's very simple. Nature, matter, unguided, or intelligent agency, God, guided. Those are the only two choices. That is a true dichotomy, right? So does everyone see who the atheist creator is? That's rhetorical. We'll get back to that. Let's move on to George Wald, Nobel laureate, medicine and physiology. The reasonable view was to believe in spontaneous generation. The only alternative to believe in a single primary act of supernatural creation. There is no third position. Let's break this down. The reasonable view was to believe in spontaneous generation. That's nature or unguided. The only alternative, a single primary act of supernatural creation, God guided. There is no third position. Like I said, it is a true dichotomy. Nature unguided versus God guided. That's it. That's your choices right there. Make your choice. Yeah, and you have to choose. If you outright refute or rule out one choice, then based on the laws of logic, you ipso facto must believe the other. It's called a disjunctive syllogism. It's defined as a logical argument of the form that if there are only two possibilities and one of them is ruled out, then the other must be true. So the only way you can get out of this is to propose a third, fourth, or fifth choice. Well, it just takes a third choice, right? I've been asking this question for better than 12 years. Give me a third, because false dichotomy. Okay, what's the third choice? Aliens? No, aliens. That falls under intelligent agency. And you just kick the can down the road. Who created the aliens? Right? I got some other nonsense, but not worth to speak of. So that's it. That's all you got, people. There's your choices right there. Natural phenomena, that's atheism. Philosophical naturalism, realism, or intelligent design. Theism or idealism. Those are your two options. Choose wisely. Oh, by the way, these two choices pummels all feeble appeals to God of the gaps, more or less argument from ignorance fallacy, and presupposition appeals, because everyone's a presuppositionalist. We're going to get to that here in a few. And exposes the entire pseudo-intellectual charade. Anyone, if you hear, because you're going to hear this lots of times, right? God of the gaps? No. There are no gaps. You either got this one or this one. The gap is in between saying this one or this one. It's right where the or is. That's the only gap here. And the space between your ears if you don't get this by now. So you only have two choices. I need a third choice. Therefore, the atheist creator, see, I gave you the answer. The atheist creator must be matter or nature. That is philosophical naturalism or realism. If your choice is nature, like I said, atheism, they portray this as many different words and phrases. You kind of have some big problems. Because matter cannot create itself, because that would mean it existed prior to its existence. That's logical seppuku. And from Bernard de Espagnan, Quantum Theory and Reality. The doctrine that the world is made up of objects whose existence is independent of human consciousness, i.e., mind-independent reality. That's philosophical naturalism, realism, aka atheism. Notice I put the brackets in here. I added this because that's what it means. That turns out to be in conflict with quantum mechanics and with facts established by experiment. You can't get out of this. This is actual science. For goodness sakes. That is, matter is derivative, the consequent, consciousness, knowledge is primary, necessary antecedent. I'm going to stop right there. Questions or comments on the two ontological primitives?
Just the usual, really. Like, we've heard this I've heard this many times before, and the first time it already made sense to me. So it's so basic. It's almost frustrating how basic it really is in a way, because so much rests on it, But it is what it is. It's there for you to recognize and deal with it. And that's it, really.
You don't understand.
I don't understand what.
No, you just don't understand.
Oh, I got you.
I'd like to understand how people think that matter created itself.
Magic.
That's a fun one for me. Like, it
Yeah.
existed before it existed, and then moved itself into existence. I love that.
That's the point, isn't it, really? You've got step one, recognize that there's a beginning. Step two, recognize that you can't have everything coming out of nothing. Well, there's your God. 2 steps to God. Really straightforward.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Arwen's right. It's like so basic that it's like almost like you don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's like, okay, and next.
I was the same top. I don't know what to say, yeah. Other than
It's like, yeah,
Bacon.
yeah. Okay. Unless you could show me matter creating itself.
Right. Well, that's it. It's the alternative. What is the alternative? The alternative is a hell of confusion and just dwelling in darkness, trying to somehow reify something. And that's all that evolution-based thinking, primary, shows.
Evolution.
It's all dwelling. It's
Evolution.
There's
What's
just
that?
nothing there.
What's that?
It's a very sloppily constructed reification of all kinds of silly constructs. It's just pathetic.
Well,
So
that's
that's the only thing that they can do, and
well,
that
well,
makes
I wanted
it
more
so blatant.
specificity. I'm sorry, I wanted more specificity. That was too vague. What actually is it?
Undefined.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with creation. Whenever you get an evolutionist, whatever that is, and yes, I'm still laughing, whenever you get them cornered, they'll always say that, well, the evolution, whatever that is, doesn't have anything to do with before life, doesn't have anything to do with the universe or anything. Then why is creation versus evolution always put up everywhere? I'm not getting it. I always hold them to it. I say, well,
Definition.
what's the problem here? It's kind of, well, creation versus evolution. We don't know what that is, but it's not responsible for. It doesn't have anything to do with creation. But we're going to put it up against creation anyway. Not secular. What?
Evolution versus adaptation.
Oh no, we're not going down that road.
Oh, but
Come on, we gotta
adaptation.
go. Come on.
No, we're not going down that
Adaptation
road.
by
It's
design.
stupid.
Those are the stupid birds adapting. What's his name? Fucking.
Oh, keep a hold on that effing. All right.
But
Yeah.
life adapts. Life adapts by God's design. We are
That's right. I
blessed
agree.
with an incredible range of adaptation skills and abilities, and it's incredible. But it was designed that way, and we have limits, you know. And these limits become more and more defined as more research in general takes place, more data gathers, and then just these limits become apparent. It's like, yeah, no, if you manipulate this gene group too far, then it's become sterilized and all that. You know,
Where'd you get genes?
God created them. He designed
See,
them.
this is where the problem is.
He designed them in a very specific, incredible way that is just beyond belief. How all-encompassing it is.
Yeah, you've got. There's a difference. I'm not sure. Was it Paul mentioned there adaptation, and whilst we can marvel at the way in which the majesty in which nature does adapt to its environment, what we're not talking about there is the programming, genetic program that was put into place by God for creatures to be able to adapt slightly within their environment. I think that's been observed. What we're talking about when we're saying, for me, when you're looking at evolution, is the nonsensicalness of some Pakistani dog becoming a whale.
I forgot about
Right.
that.
Yeah, the transmutation of one species into another every time.
Reminds me, if Betty was here, I'd get her to tell this joke, but she's not here, is she?
No, she's not here. Nope.
Okay, so at some stage, man looks up to God and says, "We just don't need you anymore. We're proficient. We can make life on our own. Don't need you." God says, "Okay, go on then. I'll challenge you to do it. Let's see how well you do." And the men look at each other and go, "No worries." Start gathering up some dirt, and God goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing? Your own dirt."
Get your own dirt. And there it is, folks, right there. That's all you need right there, because that is so true. Exactly. Get your own dirt. Because where'd you get the dirt? Exactly. That's it. It's as simple as that. We could have started out with that rendition right there, and then just stop that, and we rest our case. But yeah, we ain't gonna stop there. Where's the fun in that? All right, let's rock and roll.
19. Psalm 19, it sums it all up. Read it when you got a chance.
Go ahead, dude. Are you looking at it?
Well, I know the beginning. It says, Psalm 19 is the heavens declare the glory of the Lord, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. And then he talks about the sun, how it's like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, or to run a race like a strong man. It just gives the whole breakdown of creation. I mean, every day we ask, what's the distance to the sun? Now we say, what is the sun? I mean, we don't know. But there's a creator that made it and does know.
He had to have created it, or it created itself.
Yeah, well said.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I'm looking up at a crescent moon the other day, and my coworker walks up to me and he goes, "Explain that to me, flat earther." I'm looking at the moon. It's a crescent moon. I'm going to him. So you're telling me that by me looking at this light, I have to explain to you how curve is created under my feet? Just because there's something magical going on in the sky, it looks a certain way, doesn't mean us flat earthers have to explain that to you.
Precisely.
Can.
I would have
Does this
reacted.
guy?
I would have reacted a little differently.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Well, tell
I
us.
gotta-
What would you have said?
What would I have said?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Explain that to me, flat earther. I'm supposed to explain a crescent moon to him.
All right. I
Explain
never.
the moon.
Yeah. Well,
That's the
I
question.
would respond that I didn't make any claims, and I often don't explain things I haven't made claims for. It's one of my refrigerator rules. You, sir, do you walk up to complete strangers and ask them questions they didn't make claims for without getting punched in the face? That would have been my first volley. And then I would say, and then I would add on, well, it seems like you have the explanation, the all-governing explanation in the hopper back here. Why don't you explain it to me? And with that explanation, I'm going to need scientific validation to keep your explanation from being a just so story. How about that?
Oh no, I can't ask him to explain anything. He would go and see robot strippers in Las Vegas. if he
Yeah,
could.
great. That's what we love.
Yeah, no, it's
What?
not the type.
Robot strippers?
Yeah,
God.
before this digresses and devolves, yeah, we're going to put a halt to this.
Well, let me round it out because it is an interesting debating point. But the question I would ask somebody in the same position would be to get a globe head to justify premature sycamore pollination on a globe in the north of England. Now, they normally look at you when you ask them that like you got two heads, and would, if they're sensible, reply, "I'm not making any claims about premature sycamore pollination in the north of England on a globe." Would be the reasonable answer, right?
Yep.
That's what they're doing to you. They're looking at you and going, right, see that waterfall over there? How'd you explain that on a flat earth? And you look at them like they've got two heads and go, I make no claim about waterfalls proving flat earth. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
You make a claim about it, is QE's point.
Yes, exactly. So what they try to do, quite Elmer Fudd feebly, is right out of the gate shift the burden of proof onto you. Just catch it. Whenever anyone says it, and they all do it, they'll post a photo and said, explain this. Well, why should I? It's yours. You explain it. And then, see, the kicker is, because anyone could give an explanation. I can walk down to the village idiot every single day, and he could give me his explanation, right? Everyone's got an explanation. They're like elbows, trying to keep it clean. Everyone's got two. Follow?
I don't know. The Terminator babe was pretty hot in Terminator 3.
Well, that was random.
What?
The
All right,
robot stripper.
let's move it on from Terminator 3. Let's get back to the subject. Well, it's all my favorite, so why should I even call it my favorite? So, supernatural. This term or phrase has more baggage than Samsonite, right? I love this term. I really do. Because it shows right where everyone's at. So, what does it mean? Right? That's really important when you're discussing words because all this is semantics, right? And that cracks me up too. People say, well, it's semantics. Well, yeah. Every argument, every piece of communication is semantics. So what? Yeah, and? So what they do is they try to redefine words, simple words. Everyone's experience. This is 90% of the game is to change the meaning of words, right? And most like they'll ask you to define and, right? That's what it comes down to. But this is really important. So just let's define the word. It's very easy. The prefix super, over and above. Nature, the physical world and everything in it. Natural is the physical material world. Therefore, supernatural must mean above and beyond the material physical world or universe. That's easily agreeable. That's what the words mean. You can't get around it. So therefore, it logically follows that supernatural is immaterial, completely lacking matter or energy, right? Well, do these exist? Truth, logic, information, time, thoughts, maths. They exist. These are immaterial, supernatural by definition. Unless you can post the chemical formula or structure, charge, matter, momentum, or spin, or kcals or kilojoules or millielectron volts for each of these. Any of these or any of these. You can't do it, right? It's non sequitur and nonsensical. The malformed question. But if you can't, then Alice in Wonderland is more tenable than your position. So these definitely exist. I guess most people, when they say supernatural, they think ooga booga booga and ghosts or something. No, it's just the immaterial world, which definitely exists, right? So you're cornered. You're finished right now. If you don't know it, you better get your therapist on speed dial because it's all downhill for you from here. Moreover, in an atheistic worldview, this is good. Philosophical naturalism, realism, scientifically falsified, by the way, and we'll get to that in a couple weeks, which has its bedrock foundation that the physical material world is all that exists. How on earth can the immaterial exist without violating the law of non-contradiction? I want to know that. I want to see how you get out of this. How can the material physical world be all that exists, then have the immaterial exist? It's a paradox. It's a contradiction in terms. It's impossible in that worldview. These truth, logic, information, time, thoughts are again by definition supernatural. So if you're an atheist and you believe that these exist, truth, logic, all these guys, then you must be a supernatural atheist. I like that. That's what it means. That'll give married bachelors a run for their money. Essentially, this is so preposterous and so incomprehensibly absurd. This is how it goes. Atheists or agnostics or whatever, they're adopting the Christian worldview by using immaterial, that is, thoughts, truth, logic, information, using the very tenets their religion must deny the existence of as the vehicle or medium to present evidence against the very thing they can't believe in, a creator, the Christian worldview. This is preposterous, man. Absolutely preposterous. Logically, it's a hammer me C4 fire scenario. It makes the $6 million man crash and burn look like a fender bender. It's tantamount to attempting to falsify air, all the while breathing in vast quantities to reach the invalidation. And this is key. Therefore, every single atheist is a presuppositional kleptomaniac. Why? Because they're stealing and using my worldview to clumsily attempt to falsify my worldview. Stop doing that. It's a train wreck, man. It's a train wreck dumpster fire. Everyone get this? Comments, questions?
Yeah, I particularly like this because the moment you ponder position, you're violating your own position by way of thought. You're thinking about it, right? That seems very supernatural. So while you ponder on it, realize that you're violating your own position by thinking about it.
Well,
it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that by this philosophy. And I had in my youth paranoia attacks because of this realization from an atheist perspective, is that the thinking and the consciousness from a materialistic perspective is a side effect of the matter. So it just, you are nothing. Like, it so degrades the very process of consciousness itself just by that standard.
Well, the way the atheists to get around it, when I've talked to them about this immaterial aspect of information, so to speak, is the thing that you're talking about is the information. So it's still material in their mind. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're looking at something as a tree, the tree has information.
No, wrong.
So it's, I know, but that's what the atheists say.
Yeah, well, they can say whatever they want. The tree, you said it has information, but it's not information. Where's the information in the tree? We're going to get to this here because the next subject is information. I'm just asking, where's the information in the tree?
Well, they're even saying the thoughts, because it's carried chemically in the brain, that the information in the thought is physical.
Really?
They still
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I've heard them say that.
So it's carried chemically in the brain. Fair enough. So I'm thinking of a pink polka dotted chartreuse elephant. What's the chemical formula for that? See what I'm saying?
Well, if you can weigh and measure all the chemical processes, then you have it. That's what
you can weigh and measure. What's weight?
You know what I mean.
No, we're not going down there.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not going down there. Even if you could.
That was a bit above my pay grade, and I want to get clarity. What was your question? What's the chemical formula for the thoughts you were having, or for the chartreuse elephant that you described?
The chartreuse, the chemical formula for the chartreuse pink polka dotted elephant. What's the chemical formula for that? Yeah, that's what. And then the chemical, because I just put a red tail on it. What's the chemical formula for that? I'm going to change it up here in 5 seconds too. I want the chemical formula for all of it. That's what I'm
it's
talking about.
rhodium. It's rhodium.
Yep, that's the proposed. Well, we're going to talk about this. This is very important because this is the bedrock foundation of the entire argument, as it turns out, is information. This is the key. I was going to pull this part of the presentation out and just do this one, but we reached the 50th episode, so I said, I'll just keep it in the presentation and just go there. But information, I could pull that out and just talk about that because it's the rub. It is the foundation of everything. And we're gonna put a lot of stoppers on everyone's thoughts with these. No pun intended. Anything else?
There is no place left to go intellectually, spiritually, or materially. The realm and everything in it is created.
Well, hold on. Are we going to get to there is no tree? Is that going to be part of this presentation?
Not in the context you're thinking, but we're going to get to something in that vicinity. Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll look forward to it.
All right. Information. This, like I said, this is the key. It's the foundation of 3 of the 4 proofs. It's the foundation of about 25 of the 26 proofs I got, but information is the key. Like Professor Paul Davies says, information is more than just a description of our universe and the stuff in it. It is the most basic currency of existence, occupying what theorist Paul Davies terms as the ontological basement of reality. Now, Paul's close. He's one step away, though. It's not the basement. It's the first floor. Because information is the consequent of what? Of its necessary antecedent, a knower, an intelligent agent, the creator. That's it.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, yeah. All of the actual sciences, that is physics, aka quantum mechanics, genetics, biochemistry, chemistry, parts of biology, are all information sciences now. Don't let this go past you. This is one of their top pseudoscientists, and at least, hey, I got to give him credit. At least he recognized it. Even though he was wrong, he's in the ballpark, right? He recognized the ontological basement of the issue, how important information is. Right? So what is it? Remember, defining terms, what is it? It simply is the communication or reception of knowledge or intelligence, from Merriam-Webster, right? It's all encompassing, very short, complete, comprehensive, and exhaustive. Just take the root word, inform. To inform. What does to inform mean? Right? Once you break it down, it's really quite easy and easy to understand. I took this out. This is very important. From Grunwald and Vitania, Algorithmic Information Theory. They're talking about codes. Let's take a listen to this. We repeatedly consider the following scenario. A sender, say A, wants to communicate or transmit some information to a receiver, say B. The information to be transmitted is an element from some set X. It will be communicated by sending a binary string called the message. When B receives the message, he can decode it again and hopefully reconstruct the element of X that was sent. To achieve this is very important, the bedrock foundation of information. A and B need to agree on a code or a description method before communicating. You see that, people? This is information. It has a lot of aspects to it. I'm going to pull them all out. We're going to go over them. But let me ask you a question before we get there. Is it possible for inanimate matter, that is atoms and molecules, to make agreements and communicate with each other? I'll keep that rhetorical. If you think so, then I would probably be hush-hush around any mental health professional. Just saying. So, let's pull some terms out of this. I think this is comprehensive. Very easy, intuitive, we all know this. So for information to exist, you not only need a transmitter and a receiver, but they need to agree beforehand on medium, convention, and the meaning. The big kahunas? Number 1, to have information, transmitter and receiver. And agreement on, number 2, medium or mediums of conveyance, number 3, convention, and number 4, meaning. Let's take a couple examples here. Which one of these is information? Then why or why not? We'll just do it rhetorically. So number 1, is this information? Verse number 2, meet me at Joe's for drinks. So you ask yourself a question, is number 1 informing me of anything other than complete chaos? No, I'm not getting anything out of it. This is, they could have put hieroglyphics here, right? No one knows what this means. However, meet me at Joe's for drinks. I understand that, right? This is information. This is just gibberish. It's noise. On the other hand of information, all you got is noise. What's the problem here? Remember we talked about, what do we need? We need a transmitter and receiver. We got that. What else do we need? Let's roll back up. We need agreement on the mediums of conveyance. I took the liberty of putting this in the English alphabet. Now, I could have made up an alphabet all by myself. I didn't have to use the English alphabet. I could have used another alphabet from another language, or I could have just made one up, like I said. The convention, again, here is more or less English. So I'm granting you that. And number 4, we need to agree on the meaning. Well, we all know the meaning of words when they spell them. Well, we don't know the meaning of words if you want to get technical. But I'm going to give you that you know the meaning of the words. So what's missing? After I give you the cipher for one, they both contain the exact same information. These are the same. They both contain the exact information. Meet me at Joe's for drinks. What's the difference? We didn't agree on the cipher, right? We didn't agree. I didn't give you the cipher for these. I gave you the meaning, convention, and part of the meaning, but not the cipher, which is part of the meaning and convention. And I have to give it to you beforehand. The cipher for number 1 is every 4th letter. So if I take every 4th letter here, it breaks out to meet me at Joe's for drinks. Hopefully everyone can see that. Let's do another quick one. Another example. What is the information here? Right? Does this remind you of any information? Do you readily recognize what this means? What is this informing you of? Absolutely nothing. However, it's Jesus saves. The cipher, which I didn't give you beforehand, is every 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, start over, 5th, 4th. If you keep on doing that, it'll come out with Jesus saves from that block of information or block of data. Follow? One of my favorites. This'll drive it home. Paul Revere. What's the code? 1 light or 2 lights, right? What's the software or the information? Where is it? You ain't going to be able to find it. It was the agreed upon meaning, convention, and the medium between Paul and the Patriots, right? Who created the software or the message, the information? Who did that? The 1 if by land or 2 if by sea. You got 2 choices. A, the lights, or B, Paul Revere and the Patriots. According to philosophical naturalist, realist, or atheist, it must be the lights. That's the only answer they can give you for the creation of information. The lights had to make this up. I'm not kidding you. What would have happened if Paul Revere never met, agreeing on medium, convention, and the meaning with the Patriots and sent signals random like 1 light or 2 lights from the Old North Church? What would have happened? Not much, right? Save for we might be having tea and strumpets daily. Moreover, like I said above, was it the lights, the medium, that coordinated the meeting? Yeah, I get called to meetings all day from lights, man. Information is semiotic. It's not a physical entity or part of the medium of conveyance. Photons from Paul Revere's lamps weren't physically carrying information. The lights were just the medium used to signal the intelligent agents who then assigned the prearranged meaning. That is, information now exists. It didn't exist before that. It is only then they know which path. No pun intended. You're looking at a code right now. It's called the English language. The software, the information is a preemptive, agreed upon convention so we can understand the message. It's semiotic. It has no chemical formula or structure, charge, matter, momentum, or spin, or millielectron volts, kcals, or kilojoules. It has none of those. Without meaning, convention, and agreement, there is no information or code. It's utter noise. Code, information, software is always, ever sourced by intelligent agency without exception. No exceptions. If information exists, intelligent agent had to be there. That's it. End of story. Now, this is pretty important also, is to identify what information isn't. Your interpretation of the physical effects or the consequences of the existence of inanimate objects is not information. It's your imagination. When I put my hand under running water, the water's not informing me that it's wet or that it's cold or hot. When a tree branch falls in the woods, the sound waves aren't communicating to me I've fallen and I can't get up. Moreover, information is not the medium used to convey it, and the medium is arbitrary. Watch, it's the same as someone writing, "Look out, there's a tiger behind you," with chalk, sand, Cheerios, Etch-a-Sketch, M&M's, 3/4 inch nuts. I can go on for quite some time here. The medium is arbitrary. It's not the information itself. Etch-a-Sketch isn't information. Now, if I write something on there and tell you what the convention meaning or the meaning is, then you know what it is. It's not the Etch-a-Sketch. All of this sounds like it's intuitive, but I felt the need to explain it. Hopefully it's getting clear. Atheists have I say big. It's not, language can't encapsulate how big this one is. It's a huge problem. Information is neither matter or energy, like I said above. It's semiotic. Norbert Weiner, professor at mathematics, MIT. Information is information, neither matter nor energy. So remember, Paul Davies said, the ontological basement of all reality is information. But information is neither matter nor energy. But atheists can only believe in matter or energy. Do you see the paradox? So, how on earth can atheists even account for information existing in their worldview? They can't. You can't account for it. If matter and if you're a philosophical naturalist, realist, or atheist, the bedrock foundation of your religion is that matter or energy is all there is, like I just said. So pray tell, if information is neither matter nor energy, and your beliefs dictate that matter and energy is all there is, well, then you're what we call the industry screwed. Military intelligence, married bachelors, and achromatic rainbows are more tenable. How you like that? That's the end of part 1. Questions, comments?
Good as ever. Part 1. This is part 2 going to be part of this show?
No.
Oh, okay. That's the end of this presentation for this show. Oh, bummer.
Yeah, the presentation is just so long. I wanted to break it up, and I think establishing this, we're going to review it for the next presentation. We're going to go over the scientific proofs in the next one. I wanted to focus solely on those guys also. We'll review this, but I wanted to establish the foundation now. I mean, I really don't even have to go to the proofs, right? The atheists, you're screwed. It's over.
I totally agree. It's a good first summary for the 3 steps. Acknowledgement that you've got a creation at the start. From there, what was the second step? Oh yeah, you've got God, you've got creator, as opposed to everything coming from nothing. Then the acknowledgement of intelligent agency through way of information or the supernatural. So yeah, I think it's a good foundational step for this show. And why not keep it nice and concise, easy? Why not?
Well,
Hey,
thank you.
Can I do some shout out?
I love that.
Yeah,
Hold
hold on a second. Hold on a second, Chocolate. I would have wind
got
these
a lot
up
of super chats.
before you guys get started. Hold on for a second. Some super chats, some shout out. Appreciate it. Unicorn layers her eyes. He says God existence is evidence throughout our world. Yes, sir, it is. Unitox Femu. I am putting €2 on the creator. Win at home by 3 to the odds are 3-0. Yeah. Brian's logic. Appreciate it, sir. Is that what they call? Is evolution dependent on mutation? No. You say yes. Is mutation dependent on what they call evolution? No. We can get into that at another time. Oh, Rob Keane. Arwen is ace. Woohoo! Thanks for the super chat, guys. Go ahead, Arwen. You started off. It's you.
Yeah, great show. I knew what it was gonna be, what it was gonna be like. You know, it's what happens when you take the responsibility of carrying that, in a broader sense, unpopular torch of the winning side of the argument. And yeah, I knew what it was gonna be. I've heard the arguments many times before, and yeah, this realm and everything within it, and our consciousness, even in the indirect sense, and all the information it's created. I often contemplate towards myself that even the brilliant, sorry, I don't want to sound overburdening, but sometimes the ideas that come to me, it's given to me by God as a reward for my dedication. That's how I take it. And that's just like, it's all God, guys. It's all of it. It's, the more you let go of your own self in the face of what God actually does and can do and what he can provide for, it's amazing. So, but just, take heed, manipulations. Everything in this world constantly is trying to fool you, is trying to dissuade you from paying attention, trying to dissuade you from keeping to your principles. And that's really what the current day tone is all about, is sticking to your principles, sticking to knowing who you are, what you stand for, what is right, what is wrong. And just hold tight. There is something coming. It's gathering. There's going to be a crossroads. It's not going to be too far into the future. Who knows if it's going to coincide with like the US politics, the presidential election, or something else.
Hey,
But this period, it's tense.
Arwen,
because
Arwen,
crossroads.
get a hold of yourself.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Uh,
Alright.
Shout out to Unitox Femu again. He said, check this out. Big Bang Chaos Order Information Amoeba DNA Monkey Ball.
Sorry about that.
All right. Chocolate. But we ain't rounding out. I just wanted to get everyone's thoughts. Not on the presentations, just your thoughts. No?
Right. I was just gonna say that I love the notion of just formulating the sentence I am an atheist. Debunks the notion that you can be an atheist. That to me is hilarious and brilliant.
Profound.
So have fun with that. Because that's my question. How did you? Where did that thought come from? Again?
Exactly. You got it. Paul, any thoughts? I'm sure you do.
I had to jump off for a minute, but yeah, I was just actually thinking if you just break down the word atheist on its like A, does it mean A is against theism? Is that how you break it down?
A means without.
Without, okay, without. I thought it was against, but yeah, without God.
The A stands for anti, officially.
No, it means
So
without.
against God. Oh, without, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't that anti?
No.
Is it?
No, not necessarily, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I've got into the discussion with the atheist on the after show, and yeah, they keep going around and around and around about. Well, I don't believe you're atheist too because you don't have a belief in Zeus. But technically, people that believe in either Jesus or the Christian God, we're atheists too because we don't believe in Thor.
You
We
do
don't
have to
believe
be
in
specific
Zeus.
on that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because we all know what we're talking about, but you're correct to
I
be
know, I know.
pedantic about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Ask them how they're speaking.
Yeah, that's a good one. Adam, any thoughts on this? But we're going to open up the panel. Everyone that's listening, this is a Ballbusters, so you can join the panel if you're out there in chat. I've seen a few remarks that were somewhat questioning the material. That's why we open this up for you. We're going to give you a venue to voice your thoughts on the issue. I think it's good for communication to let everyone know where we're at. So, Adam.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's one of those moments that, along with Flat Earth, when you've gone through this, and it's good news, isn't it? It's good news. Even if you are born and feel you're a materialist, you can go through the logic and the way you laid that presentation out nicely, John. Come to the realization that it's all right. You're not just a product of nonsense. There is a creator, and it's, for me, brilliant the way you lay it out and prove it that there has to be one. So one of my favorites, that.
Yeah, it's and I didn't even get to the scientific evidences just yet.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
regarding what-
Yes.
I've heard people in the Discord and other people, even people, they say you can't understand anything about God, and I go, well, actually you can. From just this ontological primitive information aspect of things, he has intent, which means he has to choose to do something. He has massive amount of knowledge because he able to communicate and do something. He's obviously very powerful because he can bring something into existence out of nothing. There's a lot you can learn just from this one little ontological primitive, about the nature of God. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and the question, I agree with you, but the point is we're just going with existence at this point, right? We established there has to be an intelligent agent. Must be. Right? Now, the nature of that intelligent agent, that's another question, but I agree with you, but we're just, right now, we're just going, he's an intelligent agent. Obviously, he's intelligent. He has consciousness, right? There's certain natural or of his nature we can deduce from that. But you're right. But remember, there are two different questions.
Can I insert something on that? Because
Everyone's taking
maybe
Adam's
it could-
time.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but I really need to input this. Could it be said that just it requires intelligence to create?
That's true. Exactly. You're right. As simple as that is, it's profound.
There
You're
we
exactly
get the
right.
essence of the entire setup, basically.
Mm-hmm. All right. You done?
Yes.
Adam.
No, I mean, to be fair, John, I was done. It's a very.
Oh, were you done? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but it is a simple concept to me. It's very profound, and it's a thing that I don't think a lot of people realize. If you listen to that and understand the implications, there is a creator. And there's a lot of implications that follow from that. Maybe that's why people do run away from that reality. It's a tough thing to realize and then actually deal with. We're here for a purpose, and part of the world we live in, the way in which people are justified in their abhorrent actions is there is no purpose to us being here. But you get that message and you lay it out like I said beautifully. It's a lot more important than just proving the point. Has bigger implications.
There is a purpose to us being here. It is enshrined within the design, within the essence, within the frequency that we can follow, within what we learn. So I would like to contest that notion.
And and can I say one thing about information? And within information, it's the ability to say yes to some things and no to others. Correct? Because you have to say, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that, or I want it to be this way and not that way. That's the nature of information, which also implies choice. That's another thing, another aspect.
It's where you are with your consciousness and what you can deal with in the moment in time within the spectrum of information available to you.
Nathan.
Where'd you get the you?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was given
yes.
by God.
And your thoughts on the subject material, not the presentation itself, just the subject, the background subject material. I know that you think this is slam dunk. It's over.
I've covered it already. I mean, other than summarizing exactly what the presentation's about, recognition that you've got a beginning, recognition that there must have been a creation to that beginning, unless you're going to violate the first law of thermodynamics, and that there must be an intelligent agency. I just think that that is a good enough summary to lead into maybe people on the panel giving us their views. The other thing I wanted to add was out of the back of what Adam said, which is that appreciation of Adam's statement leaves a lot of people quite angered, because having a nihilistic kind of, it doesn't really matter, the world's an empty soup of expanding nothingness, it doesn't really matter. Most people will have an outlook and a way of behaving as a result of that worldview, and leaves them in maybe behaving in ways that we might not. Now, I don't have any particularly dark skeletons in my closet, but for a lot of people that listen to this presentation might start concerning themselves with their skeletons that up until this point were inconsequential to them. Just saying.
Yes, sir.
Chaos increases entropy.
Nathan, you also touched on one of my topics I love to talk about. Purpose implies you were made for a reason. And if you break that purpose, it implies a moral imperative. You understand what I mean by that?
Implies moral what?
Moral imperative, like oughts. You ought to be a certain way. Purpose implies you're here for a reason, which implies a moral imperative or ought. You ought to be a certain way or ought to do certain things. So if you can remove purpose, you remove ought.
Yeah, like Descartes said, I think, therefore I am.
All right, sir. Nathan, I'll leave you had the con to get other people's thoughts, whether they have questions or comments. Listen, I'm surprised there aren't a lot of people in here, being that the intellectual elites out there are all atheists, it seemed. I mean, they're the learned ones. Well, come on in here and learn us. I mean, I want somebody to come up against this presentation and then start tearing down the points. I really would. Coherently, cogently, please. So it's on you, Nathan. You want to go through the hangout? You got the con, sir.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, where are you?
I'm going through alphabetically. So, Brian, did you want to add something?
Hey, Kiwi. Hey, Nathan. How are things? I'll just say something small, just to give some context to the super chat I sent. Some years ago, leopards on the safaris in Africa, in one part, changed their spots to stripes because their prey, there was something to do with bushfires or something, and their prey had moved, so they needed to have a different camouflage. So my point was with the super chat was that just because that happens now and again, things like that, because it's a necessity, mutation doesn't, like evolution that we were taught as we grew up or what it was, needs things to mutate.
What?
But mutation doesn't need evolution.
No.
That's what
no.
Well, is the claim not that I was once a monkey?
No. You have to define it. I don't want to get into an evolution discussion, but no, mutation has nothing to do with it.
Well, I'm only going off of the basic teaching of what evolution is to people as they
okay.
are
What
in
is it?
school.
Okay, I want to do it. Define it.
It's that we all started out as jellyfish and mutated to the point of being humans.
Could we stick with the leopard? And I think the point we were talking information earlier, the implication of mutation is random and it isn't.
Exactly.
That leopard changed and gave it stripes. Now to put the stripes in there, it's not random. The information for the stripes is already there.
Exactly. That's where I was headed, Adam. Thank you. Yeah.
Right, stripes don't
I totally
come
agree.
randomly out of some color pattern. It's there. It's supposed to be striped. That's why they are striped.
Yeah, but what Adam's trying to say is that if we wanted to get deeper into this, which is a lot of fun, because I love when they say mutations, because you have the protein coding regions of DNA, but then you have the meta instructions. That's the information on how to use those different proteins, and how to express them. Who, what, when, where, how, what, how much, right? So if you say mutations, then a mutation would have to occur not only in the protein coding region. That same mutation, sometimes it's completely beyond chromosome 30 when the protein construction is on chromosome 1. It's separated by time and distance, and it has to make the same mutation in the information. How does it even know to do that? And how would it do that anyway? And how would it, what's it? Right? So that's how crazy this is. When you said mutation is a trigger word for me. Sorry about that, Brian. I think I know what you're saying, but go ahead. Go ahead, finish your point. Sorry for rumpusing you.
No, I understand even saying evolution and mutations is a trigger word because I understand that you have obviously background knowledge and learning on this. So it was just very simplistic. As I was taught evolution as I was growing up in school and different off of programs on TV, it's that everything mutated from a jellyfish and became a human. But mutation that we see in nature, like I only use the spots, the stripes thing with the leopards as an example. That doesn't mean, just because spots go to stripes, doesn't mean I used to be a jellyfish. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Too funny. You should listen to Dell go off on this, man, about his mutated fishes, shagging other mutated fishes. I loved it, man. I tried to tape it. I think he took it down. Dell, you need to put that video back up because I didn't get a chance to tape that. If you're listening out there, get that one up, the mutated fishes one. Okay? I digress. Go ahead, Nathan. Sorry.
Okay, next up we got Dyslow. How you doing, Dyslow? Can you hear us? Any questions, comments, opinions?
That's Dyslow. That's Then
Somebody to move on from, maybe. Let's move
somebody
on.
to yeah, that's somebody we can move on from.
Moving on. Is it on something or other?
He went on mute and deafened.
Okay. Moving on. Drace, can you hear us? Drace Low.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. Yeah, you don't have laws without the lawmaker.
It's a good point.
That's my point.
Anything else further? Good point.
Yeah, just matter can't exist without somebody creating it. That's all of reality speaks to a creator.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Drace. Appreciate it, sir.
The material realm was created.
Indeed. Next, we've got Effie Walker. Can you hear us? Did you have any questions, comments? Skeletons in your closet that you now want to face?
That you want to share with us, Walker, Texas Ranger?
Clearly not.
Oh,
Move on to Gemsy.
Gemsy.
Gemsy, how you doing? Any questions, comments?
He came off mute. Hey, Gemsy, drop out and come back in again.
Come back to Gemsy maybe once he returns.
Yes. There he is. He's back, Nathan.
Take him off server mute. Can you give us a quick sound?
I
check
got
and
no. There you go.
We got
Yeah.
you now, Gemsy.
Hey guys, I was just listening. That was pretty, very well explained and very well put. I just want to appreciate you guys for talking about these topics, and I learned a few things today. So thank you. That was my comment.
Absolutely my pleasure. It was a labour of love on my part. And I'm not going to deny the level of work and effort I've put into this. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You did some work too.
And also ran of after mention. That's fine. I don't mind.
You
Salif-
credit harder.
I don't earn any credit. That's
Kill it all. I'm only joking. It's all QE. Right. It's Salify. Am I saying your name right?
But
Can
you
hear
skip
us?
Rob.
Yeah,
Rob?
no comments really. I'll be preaching to the converted. I'm just an avid listener and learner. Salute to Nathan and QE. I've learned so much over
You're-
the years, so I'm just first time here. So
You're
thank
not a nobody listener, sir.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'll just
No,
stay
I-
quiet and keep learning.
Cool.
it's very good to hear it. Rob, I did skip over you. I don't know why. Did you want to?
Rob left. Now he's back again. Hold on a second. Let me take him off. What's up, Rob?
Yeah, so I had a whole bunch of shit I wanted to say, and then you guys skipped me. And then
So now
Come
you
on.
have nothing to say?
and I
That was
couldn't hear
all
nothing.
Nathan.
I was gonna say Nathan don't get enough credit around here. I did have something I wanted to go over, but then it totally slipped my mind with all this.
Hey, a good thing to
meeting.
do. I'm sorry, Rob. A good thing to do, and this is not only for you but for everyone during the presentation. If you guys got things, and I go over a lot of information on many occasions, it's good to have a pen and a piece of paper and write those things down. It's just FYI for in the future, because I'd like to hear. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I forgot what I was going to say," and that's understandable. So, pen and paper, pencil and paper, man, write that stuff down.
So creator versus evolution.
Say again.
The creator, I believe there is a creator, but what a lot of people don't think about the creator is the creator want to know who we are. Does he want us to know who he is? So he gave us a book. He gave us people to write down
That's
a book.
beautiful. That's beautiful, man. So true.
Is that all you got, Rob?
That's all I got. There's a book out there that everyone should read.
Is it called the Holy Bible? Perchance?
Yes, sir.
Perchance?
Yes, sir.
Ah, that one. I agree.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Great show, guys. Great show.
Moving on, we got Sasha. Hear us? Any questions, comments?
Yeah, hello. Always nice to listen to you, Quentin, John. And yeah, I can only say if you could tell me this what you said now, like 30 years ago, would be nice.
Sorry about that, man.
I was like I in that time I thought it was atheist, refusing God a lot. But when I remember the time, I never ever, even I was atheist, was believing in Big Bang and how to say.
Did I lose you?
I think
I don't know the second word for oh my god.
Yeah.
For the how humans, not mutation. How I forget the word.
Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah, oh my god.
What's that?
Yeah. That always was in my mind like that. And I want to ask you something. It's not connected with this issue. This morning I presented one Denmark guy that Alice and Bob. Oh my god, and I asked him, you are in Denmark, I'm in UK, we have a curve in front of us. I'm going down with the ship, you are going down to the ship. And I asked him, where are you going with the ship, down, straight, or up? And he said, I'm going straight. And I asked him, how you have curve if
Welcome
you are
to
going
Flat Earth.
straight? Yeah. And then he said, if we take a rope, that rope will go through the earth, from the Bob to the Alice. But if we take the ship, the ship will go straight.
And no drop, right? Ship doesn't need to worry about the drop.
Yeah, but he gave me an example with the rope. If we have the rope will go through the earth. And I said, that means that we have a bulge between you and me now. That means that your ship is going up now. And he said again, no, it's going straight. And that was it.
Masters of double speak. Any comments on the recognition that we have a beginning, or that there must have been a creator to not violate first law? Any comments on those things, though?
Yeah, for me, it must be creator. Yeah, that's for sure.
Again, missed that.
It must be creator because of because of DNA, because of all organs inside of us. You cannot. That cannot come from nothing.
Perfect. Information, indeed, you do. Thank you very much. That was Unitox Femu, for anybody who didn't know from the audience. Sasha's Unitox Femu. We've also got Skeptical. Do you want to ask any questions? Skeptical, can you hear us?
Hello.
Oh, good to have you.
Hello, yeah. Oh yeah, once again, thank you, John, for the brilliance of your presentation again. And I honestly have no comment to bring. So me, when it comes to today's presentation, creation versus atheism, obviously, God exists. It's a self-evident truth, right? It's something that no one can't escape from. That's and obviously the presentation completely phenomenal, and which I'm like to thank you very much for for what you've done today. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you once again, guys. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Okay, I won't steal the joke again. All credit to Quantum Race. Yes, his presentations are glorious. I'm not going to take anything away for a second time, just for humorous effect. Stranger Danger, did you want to ask any questions? Raise any skeletons that you may have in your closet? Here's Stranger Danger.
You're all lit up. You might want to drop out. Ed, drop out and come back in again.
What did I miss? My phone died.
Just pop Stranger Danger back on mute, and we'll go to the next person in the list, which is Sunny one, you hear us?
You're
We
real
hear you.
low.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Yes.
That's much better. Yes.
Okay, I just want to say thanks. I'm just kind of like listening to the information. I feel vindicated in some ways that I didn't ever believe what my atheist father believed. You know, I've always believed that there was some kind of a creator. And, you know, like in this life, we all kind of get lost along the way sometimes, right? But, you know, this information gives me hope, you know, and it also, it encourages me because I'm learning to be much more logical. And I realize now that I always was very logical. And that's why I didn't fit in with most other people, you know, and so I'm grateful for that. Yeah, there has to be a designer for us to have all of this design everywhere we are. The complexity of the design doesn't come from nowhere. There has to be a designer, you know, and I really like what you said about the medium of the conversation or the communication. And yeah, it's really great. Thanks.
Thank you.
It's a again. I want to reiterate: if you've had a comprehensive education, you're not taught logic. So, you know, most people who may feel like, as you put it, they don't fit in while they're in school, for example, probably because they've got a logical head on their shoulders and they're being taught how to comprehend and regurgitate, which is, I like to err on the side of thought that everyone has got a logical brain. Maybe I'm a bit naive, but, you know, I couldn't agree more. You know, you do feel like you're a bit of an outcast when you start applying a bit of logic to things that people just say you should accept based on the authorities that have told it you. Last but by no means least, we've got Travis. How you doing, Travis?
We got two more, Nathan.
Oh, have we got two new people? I'll have a scout at the list myself.
Yep.
Travis, can you hear us? Around at the moment. We'll go to one of the other people and maybe come back to some of the people we missed. Okay, we've got Luluka. Can you hear us, my friend? Any questions, comments, reconciliations with the creator?
Hey everybody. No, I don't have any comments, just listening. I agree with you guys. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much. Also got, who else have I missed that's
Neil.
Oh, Neil. Neil, did you have some comments?
What I miss?
There's a God, Neil. There is a God.
Oh, that's without a doubt. Come on, look around at creation. I mean, everything's right there for you to see. The sun, the stars, the moon, how a baby grows in a womb, how that baby's made blows my mind. Everything points to God. Excellent work, Huey. Keep it up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You just try Travis once more just to see if we can get any words out of him. Travis, can you hear us? No? Going once, going twice. Let's just see if there's anybody else that's joined. Redman, do you want to add any comment?
Muted.
Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I was server muted there and I couldn't get it to come off. So yeah, I love the presentation. No stranger to QE's information presentation. There's a lot of good points in there. The interesting thing with this whole evolution thing, though, is that there's multiple types of evolution in there.
What?
Yeah.
What's evolution?
Yeah. Well, I yeah. Well, it's a reification fallacy. So, yeah, that's what it is in actuality.
What are they reifying?
But there are multiple. Well, they're reifying their existence.
So they're reifying their existence? That's not evolution.
Well, reifying their existence without a creator, and they do that with a.
Now they do have a creator. Sorry, Travis. They do have a creator. Nature is their creator.
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry to rumpus you. Go ahead.
That's all good, man. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I used to before Flat Earth. I used to be all into the apologetics debates and everything, and a few things that I picked up were there's supposedly 6 types, and they're cosmic, stellar, planetary. There's one more that I can't remember, but chemical evolution, macroevolution, and microevolution. Microevolution, though, being the only true type of adaptation or evolution that we actually can verify and witness. And
Goodness, I'm going to have to jump in again and rumpus you. You can't put adjectives in front of the word you can't define and have it have any veracity. So what is evolution?
Yeah.
Undefined.
It's the selection or deselection of genes.
It's
Alright, let's
sloppy
try
put together
Travis.
concept.
Hold on, Owen. Just try this, right? No one's picking up on it. I do it every time this comes up. QE, if you'll indulge me, I'm just going to trigger you and you'll follow from there, I hope. Evolution.
Yeah, evolution. What's that? So we need to
just. Go on.
Go on.
I was going to go on.
Go on.
I was just going to say it's undefined. It's just some bullshit word I'm using here.
Well, what I was going to say is and I'm going to challenge, and you're going to hear this again because I just had a recent debate with I don't want to say a well-known evolutionist, but he was on the panel of the P.Z. Myers evolution presentation, and he just so happened to show up in 24/7 Flat Earth Discord the other day. So that was really nice of him. CRISPR, you got fried, didn't you? Make sure and listen up. Either this Tuesday or the Tuesday after, you're going to be hearing it. But I digress. Travis.
Oh, yeah, to have heard Red Man. I actually popped him on mute. Sorry, Travis. Did you have anything else to add? Sorry.
Yeah. You said evolution. What's that? And I was trying to speak up there. But what it is it's microevolution, and it's the selection or deselection of genes. Essentially,
evolution is microevolution.
Yeah, microevolution is the actual adaptation feature that living organisms have.
But wait a second. Before we put an adjective in front of it, this is my point. What is evolution?
It's a reification fallacy concept.
Here we go.
Adaptation.
Progressive evolution.
Am I being asked the question? Or is somebody else?
It's just you keep putting adjectives in front of the word evolution without defining it, and you're never going to either.
Okay. Do you got anything? So what's evolution? It's very simple. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I mean, you brought it up. I go through this with people constantly. So, but don't worry about the adjective you put in front of it. What is evolution?
Adaptation to nature is how I would say it.
No, adaptation to nature. What if you don't adapt and you die?
Then you don't adapt and you die.
Then that's not that's devolving. Does everything die?
Yep.
The prosecution rests.
But everything lives until it dies. Stays alive till it dies.
So evolution is adaptation. I'm going to have citation for that. All right.
I can't provide that right now.
All right. Is that all you?
I appreciate you very much. The presentation.
Hold on. Are we?
Evolution is supposed to be adaptation beyond the normal reach of the capacity of the species.
That's incorrect.
That's
evolution.
Hold on, guys. Against control. Hello.
The advantage.
Thank you very much, Travis.
All right.
Yes. Right.
Thank you, Nathan. That's all right, Travis. Right, Red Man. We'll finally get to you.
That's all good. No problem. I got to go back and go. I just got off work. I was just popping in to see what the topic was for the day, and I got to go back on YouTube and watch it. All right, how y'all doing?
Very good. I can summarize it in a very few words. There is a God.
Oh, I know that.
Hey, we're all sweet then. Thank you very much for your input.
Yes, sir.
Cool. That's it, Kiwi. I think that's everybody.
I think we got one more Earth passenger.
Earth passenger, indeed. Yes. Did you want to add something? Earth passenger. Mike's all yours.
You're not a Discord passenger.
Going twice. Oh, that's it, I'm afraid. Right, I think that's it. We've got all the comments and queries. Skeletons we're going to get, I think.
Yeah. Hey, Nathan, let's go through the Hey, listen. Hold up. Go ahead, Chocolate.
I want to actually give a shout out to all the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord fam that showed up in here, that spoke up earlier, and everybody in here, like Gemzy, Luca, Drace, Redman, obviously, Sonny. It's good to hear y'all in here. It's very cool. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to 24/7.
I thought I seen Jose in here earlier too. I seen him for a second. I think he had to go.
Yep. Shout out to Jose.
All right, listen up, guys. Ballbusters, we'll just go with you. Final
Arwen?
thoughts, channel shout outs. Arwen.
Yeah, ARWIJN. Arwin. It's me.
What?
I have a Flat Earth early bird show every day, 2 p.m. Amsterdam time. Figure it out, the time slot. And yeah, I deal with whatever the world presents. And I'm here for the survival of humanity and of the good light within each of us. And that's it. So, yeah, Flat Earth Early Bird Show.
Thanks, Arwen. Chocolate.
Oh, like Arwen, I'm here for humanity also. That was dope, Arwen. Anyway, John, good presentation, man. This is old. This is old and busted already, man. Like,
yeah,
just doing it again. But yeah, this is actually one of my favorites. The information presentation is actually one of my favorites. That's pretty dope.
Mine also. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
The Adam Meekin, sir. Final thoughts, channel shout out. That's what I thought. I know you're he's into tea time or something. Get it?
Shout out to Adam Meekin and Iron Realm Media who go out on a Friday night. Be Here or Be Sphere. Iron Realm Media. Maybe Adam will poke his head back in.
Nathan, sir, take us home, man.
Oh, is that everybody on the Ballbusters panel already been accounted for? Oh, Adam. Oh, you were the last one. Okay. Massive thank you to everyone who joined us live. Obviously, massive thank you to Quantum Eraser for putting together such a marvelous presentation. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you who joined us on the interactive part of this live show. There is a brand spanking new Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After show going out on the Nathan Oakley. That's my second channel right now. So be here or be sphere on the Nathan Oakley channel for Flat Earth Debate. Be here in 2 weeks' time for the second part of this particular subject matter, which is going to be part 2, Creator versus Atheism, on the Quantum Eraser YouTube channel. If you are watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, then obviously it'll be next week that you'll see part 2 to this particular series. Once again to Quantum Eraser, I've been Nathan Oakley. Tune into brand new Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After show over on my second channel.
Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, guys. Everyone on the panel, everyone out there in the audience. As I said, too, I just want to echo some of the people saying that the information part of this presentation is the death knell for atheism. Just remember, he said, I am that I am. That's all you need. Reckon with him.